I never thought I'd be the kind of woman telling a story like this. The kind that makes people shake their heads, the kind that forces you to wonder how love can turn into something so unrecognizable. When I first met him, everything about him made me believe he was the answer to a prayer I'd never dared to speak aloud. He was charming in a quiet way, never the loudest in the room, but the one you couldn't help but notice. His smile had this warmth, like sunlight filtering through half-closed blinds on a winter morning. It made me feel safe that we met at a friend's dinner party. I remember the way he looked at me across the table, not in a hungry way, but as if I was something familiar he'd been missing for years. We talked for hours, and it felt like a conversation I had been meant to have all my life. By the end of the night, I knew his laugh, his favorite book, and that he loved his coffee black. He walked me to my car, and even though he didn't touch me, I could feel the electricity. That's how it began. Our first months together were full of those small moments that make you believe in forever. I'd find sticky notes on my fridge from him, thinking of you, you're beautiful, written in quick handwriting, always slightly slanted. He'd bring me flowers, not the kind from a supermarket, but wildflowers he'd pick during his morning walks. It wasn't about the money. It was about the thought. That was what made me fall for him, the way he made me feel like I wasn't just in his life, I was part of his soul. When he proposed, it wasn't grand or public. We were on the couch, my hair messy, wearing an oversized sweater. He looked at me for a long moment and said, "I can't imagine another sunrise without you next to me." I cried, said yes, and believed him when he promised forever. Marriage felt natural. We didn't need to prove anything to anyone. We were just us. Mornings were slow, filled with shared coffee and inside jokes. Evenings were for cooking together and talking about the day. Sometimes we'd sit in silence, but it was the comfortable kind, the kind that said everything without words. But maybe that was the problem. I thought silence always meant peace. I didn't see the way his eyes lingered elsewhere sometimes, or the way his compliments to me started to fade. At first, I told myself it was normal. Relationships settle. Butterflies turn into roots. I thought we were just growing in a quieter love. The first sign was so small I almost ignored it. He made a comment one evening, his voice light, almost teasing. "You're beautiful, you know, but you could work out a bit more." I laughed it off. We'd always joked about our little imperfections. But later, when I stood in front of the mirror, his words echoed. I brushed them aside. He loved me, he'd married me. Why would one comment matter? Then it happened again. We were watching TV, and a woman on the screen appeared, wearing a dress that fit her perfectly. He didn't say anything, but his eyes, they stayed there too long. I told myself I was imagining it, that insecurity was twisting what I saw. I wanted to trust him more than I trusted my own eyes. Still, small changes crept in. He started going out more, claiming work dinners or catching up with old friends. His shirts were suddenly always pressed, his hair just a little more styled. I didn't mind him wanting to look good, I was proud to be his wife. But he wasn't dressing up for me anymore. That was the difference I couldn't unsee. When we did spend time together, he seemed distracted. His phone would light up, and he'd tilt the screen away without thinking I noticed. I asked him once, half joking, "Who's the mystery friend?" He smiled, kissed my forehead, and said, "No one important." I told myself it was fine. That's what love does sometimes. convinces you to stop asking questions you're not ready to hear the answers to. I remember one afternoon especially. I had taken extra care getting ready, wearing his favorite color, fixing my hair just the way he liked. He came home, glanced at me, and said nothing. Not even a smile. That was when something deep inside me shifted. I started wondering if maybe the silence we shared wasn't comfort anymore, maybe it was distance disguised as peace, and yet, I still clung to the memories of the man who left notes on my fridge and picked wildflowers for me. I kept believing that if I loved him harder, if I was more patient, he'd come back to me. Love had worked like magic before, surely it could work again.